able to siege both sides. This side right now looks like LucifroN trying to pick off anything that he possibly can with the mobility of his units. Is able to take out that. Well, hopefully he can take out this one. Right now, pushing around to the other side. Look at this constant back and forth. Naama has to keep moving. Another tank is out right now, and more reinforcements. LucifroN going to be bulking up on those Marauders as his opponent has just a bunch of tanks on the field. So right now, the tank Marauder Marine combo of Naama versus the Medvac, the MM with that Raven for any sort of detection from LucifroN. Should be a very interesting battle to see who's going to come out. Right now, LucifroN is definitely more mobile, but Naama has stabilized a position right now. Should be pulling in. I think he should lift off this, if he can, lift off this barracks and kind of place it a little bit closer so that he can be within the range of his tanks. Right now, kind of on the outskirts of his base, and might be easy to pick off. LucifroN just kind of holding here. He threw a scan down for Naama, and Naama not sure where it is. The Raven coming in at this front, trying to pull away, although all the units are just kind of massed there. So great strategic move by LucifroN, pulling his opponent away. He sees the Raven and all of a sudden has everything pulled away. Is LucifroN going to be moving in with some sort of stim right now? Oh, Naama realizes that none of the army is there, and a decent timing by LucifroN. I think he had a small, tiny window of opportunity. And just comes in and tries to stim and taking out those tanks incredibly quickly. Great move by LucifroN. Decides that he should just run in there, although it looks like he did not have enough in the army. Naama at that point had built up enough reinforcements to really counter that attack. Was able to take out a few tanks. Was able to catch them out of siege position, but now has to do a massive retreat to his base. LucifroN, looking at his base, just has a ton of barracks, so it looks like he's going to be committing to the MM versus the tank combination. Combat shield already researched now for Naama as well. Neither player has any sort of upgrade, so we'll see whether or not who gets that first. And now the Marauders coming in, going for a stim. This tank being sieged down below. There is sight on the high ground from the units, but the Medvacs are doing a great job kind of keeping everything healed. These Marauders can take quite a few shots with the Medvacs there. And Naama trying to throw down this bunker. I don't think it's going to survive. And meanwhile, has finally gotten Vikings to counter the Medvacs. Vikings trying to get in there and take down the Medvacs. Very, very crucial to, once the Medvacs are wiped out from the MM army, making it just MM, it makes it a lot easier to fight these units. Meanwhile, Naama trying to set up tanks, trying to do his best to contain that army. The tanks going down extremely quickly. LucifroN just target firing those tanks and just focusing them as much as possible. Now I'm going to be landing. No, not going to be good for that Viking to be on the ground. So both players now doing a pretty good job. It seems like things are decently even, and both going to be sticking to their army composition. Now I'm going to be adding, I think, switching out from the Banshees over to the Vikings. And looks like LucifroN, was there a drop? I don't know what that was really. I don't think there was a drop. I don't think he had them in units, but just these Medvacs were just hanging around there, doing a scouter or something like that. Anyways, here come the stim running into the action, and LucifroN looking at the army tab. We have 118 over 83. LucifroN is pumping out units on a steady and consistent basis. Both players have saturated both their main and their expo. In fact, it looks like LucifroN has fully mined out his main, and Naama will be doing that soon. These Vikings trying to get in there as best as they can, but there are just too many Marines out on the field. And LucifroN going to be able to protect his Medvacs. Looks like LucifroN will be taking his third base now that he is completely mined out of his main. And will Naama be doing the same? Naama is kind of afraid his rocks are destroyed right here, and so he's trying to play defensive by holding this middle ground so that he can transition and probably defend both sides as well. LucifroN now going to be kind of just holding his middle ground, his like in-between ground, so that he can rush over to both sides of the bases that he needs to. A ton of SCVs escorted by the MM. Look at this. These SCVs feel very, very safe running over here, and no harm will get in their way. And now going to be saturating his third base. Oh, timing just a little bit off, but now the SCVs go running back. They do have some sort of blocking guard. And Naama has been massing his forces. Looking at the army tab, 137 over 120. Naama is catching up, and with these tanks might be able to get some sort of I don't think that Marine's going to make it with the Medvacs there to support that other Marine from LucifroN. And huge battle about to go down in the middle. Siege tanks being set up for Naama. He does have about 5 or 6 on the field. It's going to be very difficult for LucifroN to run in there and really engage once these units are sieged. He's going to have to time it very well. Going to have to pick his battles right here. Does have a ton. He also, LucifroN now also has his own Vikings to support his medvacs and really protect them from any sort of harassment or just takedown from the Vikings of Naama. And now multiple sieges going down. Both players trying to find a way around each other. The center post being this Xel'Naga watchtower. Look at this dance going on in the middle. It's just kind of like they're just kind of jiving and juking, trying to figure each other out, trying to see which way to go. And it looks like Naama at this point is able to catch up in the production tab, in the production count. Scans being going down, and Naama right now is trying to push in. Siege coming down from both sides. Naama does have sight now with his own set of medvacs. And here comes that battle in the middle. Vikings, LucifroN does have more Vikings and is able to take out a medvac. All these units really, really low on HP. Not so great for Naama, unfortunately. And I think he feels like he should or has to push in. Very dangerous. LucifroN has a bunch of he's just kind of hiding his medvacs there, trying to use the air wars with the Vikings. And here comes the major battle going down right now. A mostly Marauder composition for LucifroN. Going to retreat, doesn't want to go up against those tanks. It does a great job right there, just retreating and running back. Unfortunately, Naama overextended his M units without the tank support and had a bunch of them wiped out. LucifroN does not want to engage those tanks, so he's kind of using a hit and run technique as best as he can. It looks like from the looks of it, he's down in terms of army size right now. But no, he is very, very well reinforced and not going to go on. Very, very smart move from LucifroN. Does not want to engage directly. Trying his very best. Has done a great job picking off the medvacs and the air units of Naama. Naama going to try to figure out where his opponent is. Going to maybe try to siege and do some damage over there. And meanwhile, LucifroN just kind of realizes that his opponent has left this whole area open. Just going to run in at this point, forcing his opponent to run at it from behind. I think that tank was able to take a few blasts, but now going to be pushing down the front door. Naama has to retreat and take out all his SCVs. Naama, meanwhile, going to be coming around to not attack from behind, but use the high ground to his advantage and blast away with that tank. The tanks are slowly retreating, and this is where the ground army of LucifroN has a huge advantage. It is much more mobile than these tanks, and these tanks caught out of position. Oh no, these tanks are just gonna get blasted in just one shot by the Sim Marauders. Unfortunate mistake for Naama at this point, and every little last, both players incredible, doing a great job, but every last unit I think gonna count in this game, especially the tanks of Naama, who right now only has 2 tanks left. He does not have a third base. Doing a drop right now on the expansion of LucifroN and going to be doing a good amount of damage here, stopping all mining. But looking at the army tab, LucifroN 180 over 143. This is a massively dangerous army. There are a ton of Marauders right now, and they're just going to steamroll over this tiny army of Naama. Massive battle going down, and Naama with the GG. Great game from both players. A lot of strategy being exercised on both sides, and LucifroN really showing the mobility of the bio unit, especially the big stimmed Marauder medvac army against the tank combination for Naama. So LucifroN winning 2-0 and moving on to the finals of the Zotac Cup, which I will be shoutcasting very soon. This has been JCS StarCraft, and I'm signing off.